Who the Wild Things Are with Ryan McGuire.
You gotta listen to your body.
Oh my God, maybe, I could get out there, I could do this.
Let's take a ride, find your wild side, real stories, see with your own eyes.
It's so beautiful.
I'm gonna have the best time out here.
I was in tears. I was like, that's the best, man.
Welcome back to Who the Wild Things Are. My name is Ryan McGuire, and I'm here to bring you conversations with the most wild folks on the planet. If you're enjoying the podcast, please leave us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. And if you enjoyed the episode, share it with a friend. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it going. Okay, July 1st to the 5th, the Primitive Skills Run is returning to Colorado. What this means is we're going to be doing an ultralight trip, learning how to live off the land, learning how to forage wild edibles and catch fish, living really like our ancestors used to. It's going to be July 1st to the 5th. To sign up, you can go to thesurvivaluniversity.com or you can go to the link in my bio. And remember, you don't have to be a runner necessarily to go on the Primitive Skills Run, but you do need to have a general level of fitness. If you have any questions, I can provide all the information. Just reach out to me personally or check out the website for more details. Hope to see you in the bush. Welcome back to Who the Wild Things Are. We've got Nick Walker in the building today. Nick, how's it going?
It is going, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Yeah, you were just mentioning something about coming to Colorado, so I want to hear about this, and I'm sure other people are interested as well. Yeah, what's the reason for heading to Colorado? What's the plan? What do you got going down?
Yeah, so running Leadville, August 22nd. That's currently what my entire life is predicated around, that and building a business. So all of July, I actually have to be out of my house. So good timing. I'm going to come to Colorado, hang out there all month. And then I think it wouldn't be a good idea to come back to sea level. So I'm going to just stay through the race. So 2 months in Colorado, run the race, and then we'll come back to Newport Beach.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you're doing the 100-mile run, correct?
Yep. Leadville 100.
Okay. Because there's, for folks not as familiar, there's a whole series of races in Leadville. Leadville 100 being definitely like the capstone of the whole thing. Definitely the most notorious.
Well, there's also people like you who are just going to run every single race at Leadville.
Yep, that's the goal. If all goes well, I got a little bum ankle right now, but hopefully do all of them. Why'd you decide to run Leadville, and why this year?
That's a question I've been wrestling with quite a bit. I feel like it's the most common question I've gotten. I haven't put a clear answer on it. I think my brain immediately goes to, I think as an athlete, you always want to, like, what's the next thing, right? Like you start running marathons. So, and also I'm 6'4", 235 pounds. Like running, I was also a baseball player. Running for me was never, like, it was always punishment. So I had to kind of force myself to fall in love. Probably not with running, but the effects of the run, the anticipation, hating the idea of getting started, and then you do it and you kind of build this self-confidence loop. Yeah, so I started running marathons, fell in love with that, and was just like, what's next? This kind of feels like I could do this any day. And yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of learning at the the height and weight that I am. But yeah, Leadville, I think it was one of those things that a bunch of my friends in our world had done it or failed and then done it. And to me, there's always been this kind of energy around it that was like kind of nerve wracking. It's the first thing I've ever signed up for that I'm like, there's a chance I might not finish it, right? I mean, I think it's like a 49% completion rate. So that the unknown is what's exciting to me.
How are you approaching training? What's the philosophy? Are you working with a coach, or are you just doing it on your own? And what's the week look like?
Yeah, so working with a coach, I program all of my strength training, and then he does all my runs. So I'm right now at 5 runs a week, one long bike session, one full day off. Today's actually my day off in the middle of the week. And then I'm working out 4 times a week. So strength training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Then I've got runs Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is my long run day, and then a bike kind of flush the system on Sundays. So learning a lot. I think the biggest thing that I have had to test and learn with some of the races that I've done is the fueling strategy. And I'm used to just like taking 6 gels and ripping a marathon. Now it's how do you keep food down? How do you make sure you don't cramp? It's all the longevity of it, right? So the 50K that I ran a few weeks ago, I had a little bit of a knee problem, but my body felt incredible. And that was the moment I was like, okay, I think I've got fueling at least on the right path. So there's, yeah, tons of learning to do. My coach, he actually won Leadville in 2008 and 2010. So he's got some good knowledge to give. But yeah,
What's his
it's
name?
Duncan Callahan. He's
Okay.
he's
Sounds
with
familiar.
Boundless Coaching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
um,
Boundless. Yep.
yeah, Denver guy.
Nice.
Yeah, so
How did you get here? Like what let's back up a little bit. What is Nick Walker known for, and then sort of what was the precursor to all this life of athletics and brand partnerships and everything you're doing now?
yeah, totally. So I'll give you the long and short of my life. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. I played baseball my whole life. I had all my eggs in one basket. I was gonna play professional baseball. I actually didn't even have any offers out of high school. Decided to walk on to the local community college. Ended up having a really good year. Started talking to pretty much every Division I school. By the end of my senior year, I had a free agent deal that I actually ended up choosing the master's degree that my coach put in front of me. Said, hey, if you want to get your master's degree and coach with me, let's do it. So got my master's degree. Then I had something come over me after I finished that. After a year, just like, dang, all I've ever done is baseball. I wonder if I can, I want to try something new. I want to put my identity somewhere other than baseball and at least see where it goes. So I packed up my truck. I drove from Nashville, Tennessee to Northern California where my aunt lived and had no clue what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to be around fitness. I started training at Equinox from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I worked at Lululemon from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. and just grinded that life out. COVID hit. And then I ended up posting content. I had a very deep conversation with one of my friends one day. He's like, dude, you always talk about wanting to reach more than one person. Like, you have to start posting on social media. Like, it's the best time. People are at home, they're not doing anything. And I was always nervous. I was like, my whole thing was I have an 8 pack, but no one cares that I have an 8 pack. Every 900 follower, like the 900 followers that follow me, they know I have an 8 pack. They don't care. But once I got over that barrier, I took 7 pairs of shorts outside, wrote 7 workouts, and just committed to posting for a week. I actually had one video where somebody caught me dancing. I was belly rolling, which is like my party trick. And that went semi-viral. And at the same time, like call it timing, I posted every day on Instagram, gained about 5,000 followers, and I didn't miss a post for the next 2 years. Um, yeah, that world quickly came about, and I just kind of committed to, hey, this is my life now, and I'm gonna figure out how to monetize that. I was DMing 20 to 30 brands a day, 10 influencers a day, which, by the way, I don't love the word influencer. I believe anyone is of influence. I think the word influencer gets a bad reputation nowadays, but continuing those conversations, I started to figure it out, I guess, and learn learn the brand side, but also learn the creator influencer side, um, and really found that I was being undervalued in the brand partnerships. But that we can have that conversation in a second, where that has now led. But that's the long and short.
What are the pros and cons of the content creation lifestyle? Because I think a lot of people, um, yeah, they fantasize about it, right? Being
Mm.
Instagram famous. I want to be like Daddy Nick Walker and have all these ladies commenting, and I'm sure that like right, there's a lot of pros, more good than bad, or else people wouldn't do it. But I suspect, and just based on being around it, there's also hard work,
Mm.
there's low points, there's unfortunate uh, side effects.
Mm.
Talk to me about kind of some of the realities of content creation full time.
Yeah, I would say pros right off the bat would be the freedom, but I also think when you start thinking like, I think the normal, what's the word? People think you just get paid to post, and that's totally not it. It's a full-time job. You have to, if you're going to create sustainability, longevity in the world of being a creator, like, you have to commit to it. You have to continue to evolve. You have to understand the back end of everything and study what the audience wants, which that will lead me into some of the cons, and like really overanalyzing numbers and kind of deviating from your center and who you are and what you want to post. I see a lot of a kind of a trap that people fall into, when in reality the reason why people started following you in the first place is because you are who you are. And I guess kind of circling back to the question before this, and I'll bring it full circle, the who am I think I kind of took this approach to fitness that I wanted people to just feel good in their own skin. You don't have to have an 8 pack like me if you work at the bank. Like, just go on a walk and see how you feel. Let's implement the habits to feel good in your life. And, the health and wellness industry is not approachable. It's scary for some people if you're just getting started. And I always took an approach of just like, hey, if you're walking into a gym and somebody's looking at you and you think they're wondering what you think about them, or about yourself, really they're thinking about what you think about them, right? And when you start to take that frame, you have to get comfortable to get there. But i i have I have this approach to life, I guess, which kind of leads me to Leadville as well, of just like smiling through the pain. I always ended every mental health takeaway with have an awesome freaking day and don't forget to smile. And I think there's deeper layers in my life that where that's come from, to just like choose to smile. But I think that mentality has definitely taken me through to where I'm at, because people see like the positive energy, and that's initially where my content has started. That's who I've always maintained on social media. I think, to answer the cons, I would say the biggest negative would be when you start to get in the trap of numbers and you start to think, well, no one likes my stuff anymore. And there's a reality of social media that all of these social media platforms are essentially like a brand. They're all competing for advertising dollars. They're all changing their algorithms so that they can bring the next advertiser onto their platform, right? And at the end of the day, it's always going to go through season. It's going to come back. It's why Instagram had Reels, because they wanted to keep up with TikTok. Then we saw long form going into YouTube, or into short form like TikTok, just trying to be like YouTube, right? YouTube got YouTube Shorts. Um, there's a ton of competition, but I think that bleeds into the content creator that kind of feeds on the virality, and they want to keep that going. And I think that in a world of dopamine hits and wanting more, it's tough to kind of channel that away and stay true to yourself. I think I could go down a lot of rabbit holes there, but that's
Yeah, no, I think that all makes sense. I One thing, like the sense I get about you, like hanging out, or even just from your content, like a lot of influencers, content creators, you get the feeling that they are addicted to social media themselves,
mm,
and their like entire world, their entire existence is wrapped up in social media. I feel like you do a really nice job of focusing on the external world in real life, what Nick is actually experiencing, and then documenting that and keeping the priorities straight. So
mm.
how do you think about the difference between those two and not becoming fully engulfed by the electronics and the
Totally.
digital world?
Well, number one, I appreciate that. I think that's a massive compliment just because of how I intentionally choose to live my life. I think I always say if I didn't do this for a living, I don't know that I would be on social media because it does have that negative effect on people as the consumer taking in content and just doom scrolling. I think I kind of have this thing, obviously, well, I guess it's not obvious if you don't know me, but I just gratitude is huge for me and being present and grateful for the little moments. I think when it comes to like what you said, understanding the experience, I think some content creators that you can feel the inauthenticity of that moment, they are approaching an experience for the content or going, yeah, like we're going to go out to dinner so that I can get a cool video or picture of the food, right? Like the quote unquote typical influencer, right? Whereas so the content is the product, it's the end all be all, whereas for me, I am approaching it as the experience is the end all be all, that is the product, and the content is just an extra layer. And I mean, I've been caught up in the oh my gosh, I got to film this, right? Or when you have those thoughts, being able to channel and say, hey, no, we're here now, be here. And you can get one clip at some point in the day and that'll be beneficial. So yeah, I think it's for me having an appreciation for the moment and using content as a byproduct of the experience. There's a really good quote that I stumbled upon last week that I love. And it said, everything in life is a win as long as your intention is experience. And that one smacked me. So
Mm, it's interesting. Have you just because of something you just said, I'm curious, have you ever read the book Be Here Now
mm-mm.
by Dr. Richard Alpert, who later became known as Ram Dass?
Okay.
It's like a relatively famous Buddhist philosopher. He was part of kind of like the LSD experiments that got those professors kicked out of Harvard. So a lot of like really interesting, provocative thinkers. But you said something at the end there, which is the whole thing is about presence and being here now,
Mm,
which is yeah, it's a lot of like the Buddhist mindset, and it's one of the hardest things. It was hard, in the '70s. It's 100 times harder now, right, with cell phones to actually like sit and be in
mm,
the moment with your friends and family.
mm. Yeah, it's such an interesting that brings my brain. It's funny in therapy one time, I had my therapist asked me like, when you think of love, what do you think of? And my answer was a palm tree, and I started to break that down in my head. I was just like, what? Because that's what for me individually makes me feel like love is gratitude, it's creation, it's free flowing. It sounds really like woo woo, but to your point, it's like just being and acknowledging the gratitude of that moment. But I'm gonna write that book down, by the way. Be here now.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. As with any books, there's parts to take and leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a journey for sure. It was a sauna book that I had, just sweat all over it. I don't know
Oh
if you've
yeah.
ever had a sauna book, but like they just end up absolutely disgusting by the end of
All
them.
all rippled and want to just crack out. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Another thing that interests me with folks like you, when you think about, the masses of people looking at your content, like you've heard the age-old expression, like imagine, oh, you got 10,000 likes for Nick. Like that's not good enough. But then you think about 10,000 people saying that they like something in a room. Like that's a fucking absurd number of people. That's how much like a Roman emperor would be praised for a post.
Mm,
And then like you backtrack that and you think about how it affects your ego personally.
mm.
How do you temper and deal with that? Um, yeah, it's something that other people have never had to experience unless they were like movie stars or like, right, like really well trained media people. But now you can be somebody who was working at Lululemon and became a content creator, and now you have as many eyes on you as anybody else. Okay, great news. For 2026, Last Mountain Man Standing is returning to Conifer, Colorado. What that means is we're going to be racing through the Rocky Mountains. It's a 4 mile loop with Mountain Man style obstacles. If you make it through the loop in 1 hour, you get to keep going. If you make it through 6 loops, the 7th loop is a race on the same course to decide the last mountain man and woman standing. They will each win the cash prize and take it home with them, be crowned victorious. If you don't want to get competitive, you just want to come out, we're going to have a beautiful mountain camp set up with vendors, good vibes, everyone hanging out. You can do a single lap. We call that the Foxtrot, for a discounted price. And ultimately, it's just a great day in the mountains. July 18th is when it's going down, and I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, I think the initial question it's similar to handling not falling into the trap of, oh, my engagement, my numbers aren't doing well. And I think for me personally, I don't know that everybody approaches it this way. I don't even like the word follower. That makes me feel like I'm on a pedestal. Like I never want to be. I literally took 2 years, the first 2 years of doing this, I never missed a comment or a DM because I wanted people to know that I'm humane and I wasn't gonna act like I'm somebody bigger than them, right? I think that the answer to your question is being able to zoom out and say, hey, 500 people liked this post, and that sucks for me, but think about 500 people in a stadium, like you are, or in an auditorium. You'd be nervous to be talking to every single one of those people, right? And I think with the approach that I've taken of just like this humane kind of one-on-one experience. And by the way, people that follow me, who I call them my friends, like I have 600,000 friends on social media I have literally formed relationships with some of these people that I will talk to weekly. Never met them in person, but I still talk to them, check in on them. And I think that mindset of just saying, hey, I want to treat everybody the same has helped me personally, um, I guess, be okay with the engagement if it suffers. And I think there's a lot of ego tied to these numbers. It's in the agency world, we call it vanity metrics. It's all just like, hey, what's going to boost my numbers to and make me feel better about myself? And when realistically, if your self-worth is tied to a number, like we've got bigger problems. Like we need to go a little deeper there, right? So yeah, I think I pride myself on connection, and if that's 1,000 people liking my post or 20,000, it's a success. And I've always said, if one person takes value from a post that I put out, like I'm fulfilled. And I I am culprit number one of having suffered to the, oh shit, like I only got 1,000 likes on this. But then in that moment, I'm able to recognize, hey, like that's 1,000 people. Like it's gonna be all right. Like that's pretty cool, right? So that shouldn't determine your success.
When you think about social media in general, uh, do you think about it as a positive generally, like a net positive for people or a net negative?
Mm, such a tough question. I think I would say gut feeling net negative because we're all chasing headlines and the entire world is built on what's the next clickbait view to put fear in people's minds, right? Like for me, if I had it in a perfect world, it's all based on your for you page too, which is going to feed you what you're interacting with, right? Which is based on our interests. And unfortunately, a large percent of the population is feeding off of the bullshit that's out there, right? And that they're going to be fed more and more and more of that because back to the original conversation that I brought up is it's all about money and advertising dollars, right? And I think it can be used for really good things. And like I don't scroll, and if I do, my for you page is all mountains and views that which also can be unhealthy because I just want to like pick myself up and put myself in a mountain with a sunset and wake up in a tent. But um yeah, I mean I guess it's all relative.
Yeah, it's a tough question, and that's why I asked you because I
Hmm.
figured you could get your way through it. I think like anything, it can be a tool or a toy depending on how
Hmm.
you do it. And I think I think generally social media is negative in many ways, but I think I've met some of my best friends through there that I otherwise wouldn't have ever met. That's a fact. Um,
Mm.
I have helped this is from other people's words, helped people reconnect with nature through social media. Folks that I probably they wouldn't have sought it out had they not seen it on social media. So I think there's definitely positive impacts, right? You've made impacts on people positively, especially on their fitness journeys. Probably more people than you will ever know. Um, and so, yeah, there's definitely positives to it. Um, One thing I was going to ask you, have you ever heard of, and I don't have a deal with them. This isn't a social media plug. Have you ever heard of an app called Opal?
Oh, well, no.
So this is what I use. It's pretty great. I have no affiliation with them. They've never given me a dollar.
Yeah.
But it's an app, and so Instagram on my phone is permanently grayed out. Like I can't click into it unless I go into this other app and I go through these steps to unlock it, and then it'll unlock Instagram. And you can set your phone to whatever you want. Like you could, I don't have any other social media, just Instagram, but you could do TikTok, Twitter, or whatever ones. Um, and it's just like a pain to get it unlocked. And so you just end up not on there unless, like you, when I'm going to post, I go through the unlocking and I spend my time working on whatever the post is.
Mm.
And it has been, dude, a fucking game changer. Like, because my little monkey brain, like, if it has Instagram open, it will go there and it will waste time on nothing productive.
Mm.
And yeah, it's been big for me.
It's the it if you're gonna get into it, you have to have a pretty hard intention on what you're gonna do, which is yeah.
I need to get this post out. I needed to message my training group chat. I
Hmm.
needed to DM that person because I don't have their cell phone number. Those are like the times you start using Instagram, like as a tool, and then the scrolling, it just typically gets nixed out.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think I mean there are things as a content creator, you know, the creative ability like that it's one of my favorite things to do is create things, and there is a time and a place where scrolling can be beneficial for creation because you're ideating right on other things that you see and it sparks an idea. So there are times that I'll intentionally get on and say, hey, this is a cool idea. I'll go back and forth between my notes. But yeah, to your point, it can be used as a positive as well. And I think just to hit on really quick, meeting people, like again, some of my best friends as well that I've met through there. And like, by the way, I've never seen those people crack a beer, like never once. And that's like the craziest thing to me coming from a world of, especially in athletics, where the everyone's hiding from something and we're all just getting blacked out on the weekends when we should be recovering for the next game, right? And that is the social lubricant is alcohol or whatever. And now it's wellness and it's being outdoors and all of that stemmed from social media. So yeah,
Dude, I do feel like alcohol took a hit.
dude,
I feel
crazy. Have
like
you seen some of the numbers?
alcohol, yeah, it just feels like it's alcohol's down bad.
Hmm. It's great. It's awesome. I mean, there's a time and a place. I've actually been sober for since December 26th of 2024, so 400 plus days. But I mean, it's interesting to watch it go into the wellness world, right? Everything saunas, cold plunges, run clubs, like kind of all the new age wellness stuff we do see on social media, which is positive. Um, yeah,
Was the being done with drinking thing like you felt like you had a problem or you just wanted to try to kick it and see if you could? What was the genesis?
yeah, it was a deep story. Basically, I haven't told a lot of people, but my mom had a problem, and I kind of had to address it. And I was like, hey, I'll lead and set the example, but if if this continues, like I don't know what the outcome is. I might not be here. And yeah, there's a particular instance that kind of was the time to set the put the foot down, set a boundary, and I was just like, hey, if you don't ever drink again, I won't. And she's also 400 plus days sober, so it's been pretty powerful.
That's amazing. Yeah. Because Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's beautiful. Alcohol is an interesting one, right? Everyone's got their own relationship with it. Um, yeah, it was a big thing in my family growing up. Both my parents were alcoholics, so I was around it quite a bit.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, I don't have a need to do it often. I've
mhm,
drank, yeah, maybe twice this year, and I usually like it when I do it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Um, but yeah, maybe I don't know. It doesn't gel super well, one, with the life that I'm
mhm.
leading. So there's not a lot of opportunities to drink, right? Like Nicole doesn't drink, my friends don't drink. We all train all the time. There's just not like a lot of space for it, I guess. So it's like a rare opportunity or a rare situation where it seems necessary to like enhance the whatever experience I'm in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss a good old fashioned and a glass of red wine, but I think to your point, and both of us, I guess, like training for Leadville, to me right now, I'm like, it's even easier because I am so I do not want to feel anything remotely like the last hangover I had, which took me 5 days to get over. Right, like, no, thank you. So there's for me, there's other ways to channel that passion for drinking.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good ways. I think I don't know. For me, I've been probably microdosing for the last, I don't know, 3, 4 years, like relatively regularly. And I think that's a really good one that now is decriminalized in Colorado, and it's completely lost its like this like legality allure, like
Mhm.
when things are illegal, it's like you don't really talk about them. But here, like mushrooms, I don't know people that don't do them. There's people that do mushrooms here, and then there's people that lie about it. Like
Yeah.
it's just we've gotten past that. It's almost like when the weed thing got legalized and you found out everyone's mom smoked weed, and then it wasn't a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's just it's so much cleaner. There's less bullshit.
Mhm.
And um, for me, it's just it's a way to enhance a situation without feeling any kind of drawback the next day. A lot of
Mhm.
times I feel better, more energized the next day.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I have dabbled as well, and I mean that is exactly how I would describe it. I was fascinated. Gosh, I can't probably since I was 10 years old, just obsessed with studying high level entrepreneurs, CEOs, and the longer I started watching these videos and seeing the consistencies of like microdosing, that's when I was like, and I was always a super scared kid. So when I first was doing the research on it and then I did it, I was like, huh, this makes sense. Yeah. And it's interesting to watch how it's evolved in society.
Yeah, I mean, for tens of thousands of years at least, we've been using substances to look at our lives and our problems with a different perspective,
Mhm.
right? Because you're always you between the ears, but when you can, move a couple degrees to the right or left, you can see problems, your loved ones, your blessings, all these things in a slightly different light. And that can be a really practical tool as long as you're using it in an intentional way. And
Totally.
I think there's a lot of beauty in that.
Mhm. Intentionality, man.
Speaking of the CEOs thing, I know that you guys are in the midst, the dogfight, the startup days. Talk to me a little bit about what you're going through and what you guys are building. I'm sure it's exciting times.
Yeah, it is exactly what you said. It's a dogfight in the best way. Like the I don't even like to call it problems. The things that we're running into like the best problems to have. For the backstory, started 1441 Collective, which is so there's 1440 minutes in a day. I was always obsessed with 86,400. That's how many seconds you have in a day. Then one of my business partners came to me and was like, "Hey, 1440," and I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" And he said, "That's how many minutes you have in a day." And I literally said, "Oh, what if you could make it symmetrical with the one. He's like, dude, what does the one mean? And I was like, I sat on it for a while, and I was like, oh, I think the answer is that question. Like, what is the one for you? It's kind of up to you to decide. And here we have this one side of the business that we manage talent in house, purely based off of my pain points and experiences of doing it all on my own for a year and a half. Then I signed a manager who tripled my income in 3 months over a year and a half. And then I switched to an agency, had a horrible experience, saw all the things that I wouldn't want in an agency. And then from the brand side, all of the testing that I've done to drive return, actual return, watching brands do it the wrong way and saying, "Hey, like this is a real story. Somebody offered to pay me $15,000 for 2 posts," and I'm like, "Guys, it's not going to work. Like, you can pay me that; that'd be a great payday, but why don't you pay me half of that and put the other half into ads?" And that's when it clicked for me, when that model started to say, "Hey, you can take your advertising dollars and drive them by yourself if you have a good ads team, website funnels, email, SMS, blah blah blah." Well, that's the other side of our business. We're creating these creator programs with all of those levels and of the blueprint in house, and then we've got the brand and the creator. And my creative brain just switched it to kind of bridge the gap. It kind of looks like a bridge, anyways. But that is the world we're living in now. And Q4 last year is when we started, October, only focused on talent because no brand was ready to take somebody on. That's also our thing, is like, we are an agency, but we hate that word because it implies a transaction. Like, and also everybody and your mom knows, or somebody with an agency. So focused on talent, scaled that pretty well, and got a bunch of really cool people involved. And then Q1, we have just been hammering with brands, and it's fun, it's a lot, and it's a learning experience. But we're about to start making full-time hires, so that's fun.
Hell yeah. Um, Side note: have you heard of palindrome? Familiar
Palindrome.
with palindromes?
Why do I know that?
A palindrome is basically, it's anything that's the same forwards as it is backwards,
Mm,
right?
race
So
car.
like race car, exactly.
Nice.
1441 is a palindrome.
uh, there you
Uh,
go.
yeah, I
Maybe that's why
just
it
remember
sticks.
I was like a I was a little math nerd, believe it or not, back in the day. And during our like um math thesis for like our mathlete thing, we had to look for basically like formulations to derive all the palindromes out of the
Mm,
real numbers. So, anyways, 1441 is a palindrome, and I thought that was an um,
correlation.
interesting connection. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Um, but this is really exciting. Is this something you guys bootstrapped? Did you get funding, or
No,
how did it get founded?
yeah, it purely bootstrapping. I mean, there's not really any costs involved. I mean, there's a few tech platforms we use. The longer we go, the more money will be involved and potentially raise. But the way it came about was my business partner, Brad. He worked in the brand world, and he was running partnerships. And for these brands, I was the creator, and it's kind of one of the only agencies that is creator founded. And he's on the brand side. He's literally in the position of any of these brands that we talk to in their pain points. He's used to going to the CFO and saying, "Hey, we need 15 grand to pay this creator," and be able to justify it, right? So that's kind of how it came about. He actually managed me for a little bit before he got a really cool opportunity. And yeah, I mean, no funding involved, and purely just gritting our teeth through it. So it's in a good spot where, I mean, like I said, so excited about everything, right? And at the end of the day, like, to me, it's all about good people. The money comes. Like, it's not about an exit. That'll be nice one day, right? But it's truly about how are we making an impact. Like, I mean, I tell the story all the time, but one of the girls that we signed was locked into a $2,500 contract for 2 years every month, exclusive to apparel and supplements. canceled the contract. She's like, I just want to make $10,000 in a month. First month, she made $11,000, and she is just like over the moon, right? Like that is life changing, and like I'm now in this position to be able to give back the knowledge that and all the screw ups that I went through, and help people not feel that, and it's a different level of fulfillment.
Very cool. I've never done any of this stuff, so this might be a stupid question, but is the way it works like you sign a creator and then you get a percentage of their deals each month?
Yeah, and the first agency that ever approached me tried to take 40%, and I was considering because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Right, like sure, they're connected to all these brands, that could be really cool, and they just throw that in your face. We take 15% from like the creators that are quote unquote exclusive with us, and then 20% from the creators that are non-exclusive. And the only difference is you have an email. I don't care if you go get deals with somebody else. Like we'll just split the commission. You shouldn't be suffering from that, right? So yeah, it's percentage based on the talent side, and then the brand side is completely different.
August 26th to the 30th, we are doing our Field to Feast trip. What that means, it's a 5-day trip where you're going to learn how to safely and responsibly dispatch an animal, process that animal, and learn to actually live on it while traveling through the wild with a band of beautiful humans. It's going to be in an amazingly beautiful area. We're going to learn how to forage wild edibles. We're going to learn how to make fire. We're going to learn all the skills you need to process an animal and use that animal, live with that animal for 5 days, and we're going to laugh a lot while we do it. So if you guys are interested, you can go to survivaluniversity.com, or you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram, or you can just reach out to me, ask me a question. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Love you guys. Hope to see you in the bush. Got it. And how many content creators do you guys have now, and what's the vision, end of 2026
Yeah,
and
we
beyond?
have right around 25 right now that we manage in house. The vision, we aren't really going after quote unquote more talent. Uh, I have an approach. Brad has an approach that we'd rather go 1 foot wide and 100 feet deep than we would 100 feet wide. Like I was one of those people in an agency that was in the 100 foot wide, and you just become another line item for them, right? And it's you're just another name on a totem pole and basically another option. And I've always said I want to keep it tight knit. I want to keep it with good people, and like we can spread the wealth. Um, that's also where on the brand side, when we're creating these programs, we have a different approach because we don't have to stay in house with our creators to put them on those deals. We can go to anybody out there with tech that we have. And I'm personally reaching out to these people because when an agency reaches out, the creator immediately sees, one, this is going to take 5 different messages back and forth to get somewhere. It's a waste of time, maybe. And number two, from the brand side, if a agency is reaching out to the creator knows, hey, I can charge more because they have enough money to hire an agency, right? So I also get to form some pretty cool relationships with people, bringing them into these programs. And it's again, it's value immediately. It's sitting saying, hey, we've got this brand, they want to pay you. Do you want to come hang out with us or not? And if not, we go and find somebody else, and that's okay. So
What's the sickest brand deal that you've ever done? This is your opportunity to shout somebody out for taking care of you. What's the best one all
this is
time?
where this is not going to be an exciting answer because this is exactly where my brain went was at Vivo Barefoot. Like I've been with them for 4.5 years, and that's why it's so sick. Like the people and the relationships that I've built through that, like, dude, they're my best friends, and that is there's nothing better. Like it's similar to the whole thing of like changing lives on social media. Like money cannot pay for the feeling that you get when somebody says, "Hey, you changed my life." Like it's incomprehensible, right? So that would be probably the deeper answer if we were going with like something that was, I mean, gosh, I don't know that there's anything that beats that for me. I can say what's the biggest payday, and like that's cool, but like, and that is fun for people to hear, but I just like I don't value that as much as a 4.5 year relationship, right? Um, yeah, so shout out to Vivo Barefoot.
Shout out to Vivo Barefoot.
Yeah.
You're pretty minimalist in your footwear
Yeah.
choices? Is that pretty consistent throughout?
Yeah, except for we ran the speed project with Vivo Barefoot, 350 miles from Santa Monica to Las Vegas in barefoot shoes. I'm not going to be running in barefoot shoes for Leadville. That's for damn sure. So when it comes to running, which I'm running 6 days a week, I, I'm not wearing barefoot shoes. But when I'm training, when I'm around that, like right now, I'm barefoot. I live at the beach. I literally was on the beach just with my feet in the sand for an hour before this, just working. Like I will take a 10-minute break between calls to just go put my feet in the sand. I think it's so important.
That's epic. How far is the beach from your place?
So I've never counted it, but it's 151 steps to the water. Yeah,
Are you sure it's not 1441
yeah, it could
steps to the
be. It
water?
could be
Just
144.1.
walk diagonal.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm very grateful, but to the grounding thing, like I haven't done this in a while, but I used to start every single morning at 4:30 a.m. The first thing I would do was walk outside and put my feet in the sand and walk a mile. Pitch black, whatever. And luckily, the beaches are pretty nice here, so you're not worried about stepping on anything crazy. But um, that's probably the most clear I've ever felt in my life. I don't know why I don't do it anymore, but
There you go. You just
yeah, just
answered yourself.
a takeaway for me. Yeah.
Sometimes it makes more sense to speak or to write, because you have
Mm,
to finish things logically versus like in your head, you kind of jump around a lot.
mm.
Sometimes I'll be on a podcast, like long form, and I'll say something and be like, that's what I always meant to say, but I never did it because I was just thinking about it and I never wrote it out.
And the thought went to something else. It's you're just making me think of how into meditation, journaling, all those things, how into them I am. Like it made me think of this example in meditation. Like if you imagine yourself on a busy highway and you're watching all the cars go by, those are your thoughts, and you see the lime green Lamborghini go by. Like if you're just staring at the highway and letting all your thoughts go by, all the cars go by, great. But then the second that Lamborghini goes by and you watch it, that's your brain. You're following a thought. How can you come back to the center and find that center and mindfulness? So to your point, like if we're only thinking it, not writing it out, are we actually like kind of executing on it? And I tell people all the time, like if I don't even like to say the word stressed, but if I feel overwhelmed, the first thing I'll do is just write out what is it in my head, because chances are it's not as much as our brain is making it out to be, right? You write it out and you see it physically, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. So
Yeah. Yep, I think that's true. Yeah, writing it out, talking it out, because you can't make logical jumps when you speak in sentences. It has to flow all the way through, and you have to say exactly what you mean. Versus in your head, you can have all these emotions and like half sentences
mm,
bouncing around that kind of compound and cause that stress and anxiety.
totally.
Um, Here's something I was thinking about. I've seen a lot of stuff about the Savannah bananas. You know them.
Oh yeah.
You're familiar.
Oh yeah.
What about a Nick Walker Savannah Banana collab?
I would love it.
Um,
I would love it. I
just
I've thought
saying.
about this so many times, because like to go out there and just dance my ass off before I do before I hit, like there's nothing better that I can imagine. And talk about
Belly roll.
yeah, belly roll, whatever. Like I have some friends that play in that league still, but I've thought about it. I don't know what the hell would happen if I went out and took batting practice right now, but that would be talk about content. Let's go.
Dude, I'm sure you could still hit a dinger, right? At least with a metal bat, you could for sure
A metal
knock one
bat for
out.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think I could. It would give me a full round of batting practice. Yeah, I could do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll take 15% of that when you reel that one in.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the 1441 team, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm a natural.
Yeah.
You can have everyone DM me, and I can get you deals with
With the,
whatever sports league team you want.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Do you ever miss baseball? Do you ever think like, man, what would have been like if I didn't turn west and head to California? What would do you have those thoughts?
totally. I mean, I wouldn't say they're as frequent as I thought they would have been when I initially decided to walk away from baseball. I was watching the World Baseball Classic last night. It's one of the 20 times that I turned my TV on. I like I watched the Pittsburgh Steelers 18 times. Like that is when my TV is on. And then like the World Baseball Classic was on last night and I found myself being like, wow, like I know why I played baseball. I love it, right? I think it's probably it's very infrequent that I have those thoughts now. It took a little bit initially, but I was at the original plan when I was going out to California was like I'm gonna kind of disassociate from baseball for a little bit, but I might go play indie ball after a year. So independent baseball is all of these there's a lot of teams that are not in the minor leagues that are affiliated with the major league teams, but you can go to all these little kind of like playing overseas in basketball, right? And then scouts are watching you develop through those leagues. And I just never ended up going back to it, which is kind of yeah. I mean the trajectory of that is to go make $12,000 a year and bet on yourself, and um, I'm grateful I didn't choose that life.
Really hard life.
Yeah. And so much for
Yeah,
respect for the people that do. And also, like, I mean, I have friends that are from Venezuela, the Dominican, Puerto Rico. Like, that's all you have, and they would figure something else out. But like, the passion and connection for their family, like that's what it is purposeful, right? Um, yeah, it runs deep.
yeah, and it feels like you were one of those lucky people that had a passion for that, but also found something else that he was equally, if not more, passionate for.
Mm, yeah, and it's timing. There's the timing is always perfect because the timing that you have is right now, and that's all you got.
Outside of Leadville, what else are you looking forward to this year? You
Mhm.
got any other races? I know you said you're gonna be in Colorado in July.
Mhm.
It's a little race we're putting on. It's called the Last Mountain Man Standing. Maybe Nick Walker
July,
could get in the
what's the
building.
dates?
I will tell you right now. I think it's July 28th. On this
Okay,
episode, there will be an ad of me talking about it.
let's go. I know I've
It
got a 50
is, oh,
miler,
sorry, 18th, July 18th.
so I'm running Silver Rush in on the Leadville course. What, July 11th?
July 11th,
So
so
the
am I.
week before
I'll be there
that.
with you.
See you there. Yeah, I mean, what's on the calendar? I've got a 50-mile race on May 1st. We've got rim to rim to rim May 22nd. And then, yeah, getting to Colorado. I think after Leadville, I will probably end up in Europe somewhere because I just want to go travel and like detach from crazy training for maybe a month. And then it'll be on to the next thing, which I told myself I wasn't going to do anything crazy, but I've got some ideas.
I may see you at the R3,
Let's go.
uh, May 22nd.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Um,
like 25 of us that are on the invite.
the fat group. Yeah, it's a fat group for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I have not committed or anything to that plan, but I might send it. But yeah, I don't know. Have you heard about the Last Mountain Man Standing?
No. Yeah.
Did we
Tell
tell
me
you
more.
about it? Well, it's relatively new. Last year's the first year. You're familiar with like Last Man Standing style ultras.
Yep.
So those are like the really super long ones where you run every hour a certain amount of distance and you keep going as long as you keep making the lap inside the hour. So we liked the idea of that. I was actually on mushrooms in my shower when I came up with this. But I was like, there's a couple issues. One, the course is always super boring and lame. It's usually like a flat loop and it's just like monotonous and it like, you know, rocks people to sleep. So I was like, the loop is too lame. And then two, it's really hard to get people to commit to something like that.
Mm.
You need crew, you need multiple days if you're going to be competitive. Harvey Lewis, shout out to him. He, will do it for 5 days without stopping. And so that's a lot of logistics and stuff to organize as a race director. And so I was like, okay, how about this? It's 4 miles. It's in the mountains on a private ranch that my buddy owns, Nate, and it's unbelievably gorgeous. 800 feet of vert per lap, so it's mountainous. Like it's fully mountain. There's bushwhacking portions, and there's 3 obstacles every lap that are like strength related. So you got to carry Go Ruck Tombstone, you got to carry a log, and then there's a monkey bars. So each lap you have 60 minutes. It's roughly 4 miles, and you have 3 obstacles. You make it back in the 60 minutes, whatever time, if you make it with 50, you get 10 minutes to recover, drink, whatever. And you do that for the first 6 laps. Now, if you've done it through the first 6 laps, the 7th lap on the very same course is an all-out race. So then you're just with your boys all day, you're all battling together. You show up at lap 7, now you're racing the course. And the winner, male and female, that are the last mountain man and mountain woman standing. And they each get $500 cash, and then we have a bunch of giveaways and other prizes and stuff.
Dang. So wait, so after that lap, the 7th lap, is it the winner of that lap wins, or is it like the last person is eliminated and you go until there's one left standing for
Winner
potential?
of that lap wins.
Okay, all out.
Yeah. So if you were talking about it in programming terms, like you were programming a CrossFit workout,
Mhm.
you would call it a 7 mountain lap buy-in with a 1 lap workout, right? One lap for time. So
Yep.
7 lap buy-in, 1 lap for time.
That's badass.
So you have to take care of yourself. Like, you're 24 miles in
Yeah.
to that point, and you have to take care of yourself in the heat throughout the day and handle those 24 miles to be in good shape to not only run, but also do weighted obstacles.
Strength.
Yep, on that last lap.
Mm.
So it was super cool last year. A moose basically jumped in this like alpine lake and then got on the course. So we had to stop the runners on lap 5 and get this bull moose out of there. It was pretty cool.
I was gonna say somebody had to wrestle it as part of one of the laps.
Yep, that was my job as race director. I rode it for the rest of the day. Actually, I saddled him up and named him Bullwinkle.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But anyways, yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of Leadville athletes out there. It's obviously relatively applicable to the longer Leadville races because it's just a lot of climbing.
Yeah, and the elevation gain. Yeah. Where is
Uh,
it? Colorado, you said?
Colorado, it's in Conifer, which is
Okay.
where Hinman lives?
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes west of Hinman.
Oh, let's go. I should be right in that
Yeah.
area. Maybe I got to make an appearance.
Dude, Nick Walker takes home the W.
You think? Who
I've
won
seen your
last
run.
year?
I've seen your runs. Last year, Kristen Wilbanks and David Osborne won. Both friends, and David actually lives in my basement. They and Kristen's over here all the time. They're both really, really good athletes. But I mean, Osborne was finishing like 4th on every lap. Last year, the guys' field was really competitive. There were some really strong marathoners. And there's another guy, Pete, who's a Marine, I think, and he runs like 100 miles a week. And it looked like one of those two was going to win, and it just went back and forth. And then the last lap, Osborne just dropped everyone just in their tracks. He
Did-
ran the fastest lap of the entire day on the 7th lap and won by like 5 minutes. I mean, just a blowout. So
Holy
just
crap.
had a day.
Yeah, no kidding.
But the
Dang.
cool thing is, it's also just like a really fun vibe. We make like a what we call like mountain camp. We have obviously like brands that partner with us, music, kegs, people hanging out, people that aren't racing. There's also a single lap version, so we call it the Foxtrot. You just do 1 lap instead of doing the full race. So
Sick. I love it.
So,
What's the vision for that in 5 years? What's the vision?
no, I don't have one. It's literally just purely a passion project.
Love it.
I think I've I've never thought about profit. I've never thought about any of that. Me, Nicole, and Nate, we all three run it together. So we have, a twice monthly call, and we
Mhm.
just talk about how to spread the word. It's mainly just about, yeah, getting people out in the mountains to have fun. I feel like a lot of the races now are so sanitized
Mm.
and overrun with sponsors. And the idea of Last Mountain Man is supposed to be an old school race.
Mm.
It's supposed to look old school. It's supposed to feel old school. You show up, it's me, some bush hippie yelling through a microphone. I've basically drawn a line in the sand and told people to line up. Um, the course, like, is there's all crazy different stuff happening on the course. I won't give too much of it away, but it's not like anything else that happens.
Mm.
And so I think that's the attraction when everyone's doing marathons and high rocks and these things that are very regimented and time driven is something completely different.
Mm. Yeah, it screams experience as opposed to this like more manicured, I guess, event, right? And I think that's missing in a lot of people's lives. Like just going and exploring. Like it sounds like that's a piece of the race. So hey, I'm
Yeah,
sold.
it's exploring and it's working. You end up working with a team,
Yeah.
like at least for the first 6 laps, because it's like you and whoever else like kind of is keeping pace with you on your laps. You end up just hanging out with that person for like 6 hours,
Mm.
just walking through the woods, trying to run as fast as you can to get back and get some good rest in between laps. And you just end up, yeah, a lot of people made really cool bonds and met a lot of really cool folks last year. I didn't know how it would turn out. I thought this might be a complete failure.
Yeah.
I
Heck
had an
yeah.
image in my head, but you never know until you do it. And we had a great time.
Mm. So cool.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate everything, Nick. For people that are trying to find out, I guess maybe give them two different versions. How do they find out more about Nick Walker specifically, and then also how do they find out more about 1441?
Yeah, I think me is at Nick Walker Fitness on Instagram, and then 1441 Collective is our Instagram handle on the gram. It's actually in my bio. So, yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's at. I'm new to the whole LinkedIn world that my business partners put me on, but that's also a world I'm diving into.
Sweet.
But yeah, dude,
All
I
right, Nick. Well,
appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you.
Of course,
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I think people will get a lot out of this, and yeah, appreciate your time.
of
Till
course.
next time, everybody. Stay wild.
Love it.